Welcome to the Red Dot Collective. Eva here, your host. We are at Listening Party and at Canal Street Market with Canal Street Radio. Make sure you follow them on Instagram, all the social medias that are taking over our soul. We have Sage here.
Hello.
Well.
Hey, I'm Sage.
And we have a beautiful guest. I want to say good friend spiritually because we haven't met yet.
But you're Pisces psychic, so yeah.
Yeah, so we've been in tune. We met a couple years ago, but it's been tune. Yasmin, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, get ready to talk it dirty, all of that shit, because we're gonna get drunk. So, and I'm gonna speak in which just start.
Can I
it's
do
been a
like
long
an
way.
Instagram
Absolutely.
Thingy,
Yeah.
cute, fun,
I
flattering.
get. Oh God.
Oh.
All right. Yes. So.
Should we hide the
Oh
label?
yeah, technically we got in trouble for fake sponsoring. We would say, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, yes, like fake sponsor, whatnot. What was it, Knob?
Thanks, Knob Creek.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bullet.
They didn't actually give us money,
Sponsored,
but we
no.
got called out for it.
But they should next time.
Right? Wouldn't that be the dream?
Yeah.
So how's your day?
Long. I'm so tired.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn. Y'all
I
had.
see you. See you.
I mean, you had a really more exciting, I would say, than Sage's. She had a corporate madhouse type day.
You could make it exciting.
Yeah. I had cookies today.
No, that's good. No, that's really good.
Can you say where you work?
Yeah, I work at Blue Apron.
So she gets all these
the
delicious
meal
food.
kit delivery, yeah.
Totally. That's
That's
great. Do you
benefit.
get it for free?
So I'm a contractor.
so
So
fucking
no.
fat.
So no.
So no.
No. I don't get shit.
Damn that. Well, you like. you
Except
cook a lot, huh?
they matched my rate, what I asked for. So
That's solid.
yeah.
Look, this is a true example of asking what you deserve and getting that shit and more.
Yes.
No, she is she has worked. You know, we all work to get to that point, but she's like at that point where she's like, y'all, I got the work ethic, I got all this stuff, pay me what I'm worth, and I look up to that.
That's
Plus
how
the
you
whole
have
team
to.
left, so
Yeah.
it was just like, if you
And
want me
they
to
need
stay,
you. Yeah, well.
literally.
there are a
So
lot of
just like
factors.
combine all of their salaries and just give it to me.
Yeah.
And then tell us about your day. You had a little fabulous.
Well, so I flew in from Miami last night. There was a tropical thunderstorm here, so I couldn't. So I landed like 3 hours later. The fucking,
Here you go.
The fucking taxi line was an hour and a half. I had to get one of those illegal taxis with this like very gentrified couple. That's a whole other story.
We're here for it.
Yeah, they were. First of all, I know you voted for Trump, but you're hiring an immigrant to take an illegal taxi and pay cash. Interesting. I'm just saying. You were telling me how you're calling the cops on the people that are downstairs hanging out outside of your.
Are you
brownstone
serious?
in
They just
Harlem?
said it? Oh no, sorry.
Well, no, they were.
Unrelated.
She was like, they sell drugs downstairs, so sometimes they call the cops on them.
Mm-hmm.
You moved to this neighborhood. It's not your neighborhood.
No. Why are you gonna call the fucking cops?
Yeah.
I mean, were you here when the brownout happened?
Last week?
No, there was one that happened on my street. Sunday, yeah. So there was a brownout, but it was a strategic brownout for specifically black neighborhoods, more populated, black populated,
Wait.
POC populated areas in Brooklyn. They were trying to save the grid. So they shut down the electricity of more of the brown neighborhoods in Brooklyn and kept like Clinton Hill and Williamsburg and all that stuff fine, but we all share the same grid. So it was, and they made it public. Like, I think journalists looked into it because we were on Twitter and they were like, this is an intentional brownout. And
my
it was
God.
crazy. It was hot as fuck. I'm in Bed-Stuy, so I was hot as fuck. We had cold beers on the lawn.
Wait, I can't believe that's legal.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Is
America.
I was like,
Wow.
yeah.
Fuck.
But it's just like, so we're in a weird time.
Okay, yeah. So then I had like a photo shoot at 8 in the morning. I only slept 3 hours. I don't think I'm allowed to say the client because I signed some contract, but
Yeah.
I shaved only one of my armpits. That's a thing. And then I got off earlier than I thought, and then I found a place to take a nap, and then I came here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing your energy and, you know,
Yes.
providing this space with your gloriousness. I think the marks hit me a little bit faster than I thought I was going to. Chugged it back.
You got the good stuff.
What?
You got the good stuff. Better than what we've been
Honestly,
opting for.
it was the cheapest one, so.
Wow.
I take that back.
Yeah. Normally what we get is a little bit, sorry, but it's a little bit fancier, but no. It was
I mean, I go downstairs and I'm like, give me the $5 thing. That's-
So really quickly, you were talking about when you're specifically casted for shoots. So you're a model.
Mhm.
And one, how's
Get
that
it.
like? I know, right?
Yeah.
That's the fucking dream.
It's weird. It's weird to say that. I'm like, people are like, what do you do in New York? And I'm like, I'm a model. And they look at me and they're like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a fucking model, okay? It's 2019. Like,
And honestly, it's like a hot topic to diversify the modeling scene.
yeah,
So way to collect those bags.
I have to.
Yeah.
Don't cast a fucking idiot. Cast me. No,
How
for
did
real.
you get into it though? I'm for my own.
What path do I need to follow?
Well, you're a
Exactly.
photographer, so you're in it. I started off as a producer.
Oh,
I was
really?
just like a production person, and I was like doing fucking concept and shit, and I was helping my friend who was like a really talented photographer.
Very dope.
And then she would make me sit in, and then I'm like, we would be like, oh my, she was a Pisces. We had the craziest creative connection. Honestly, I don't fuck with her now, but she was she was
Classic. That's
super
good.
talented.
Yeah.
Like we had this chemistry that is unmatched. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful.
And yeah, so we just started doing all these concepts, and they were like, people were like, oh my god, and she captured me like she was in love with me. So it's like,
Oh,
yeah, I was like,
I
that's
love
what,
these situations. I had a friend like that too.
yeah,
Photographing. I mean, I'm sure you were her muse.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Damn.
then people started thinking I'm a model, and I was like, I am.
I'm gonna run with
Well,
this shit.
also because like I really know my angles, like really,
Mm-hmm.
and so I can just turn it
Obsessed.
off and on.
Obsessed with your Instagram.
Thanks. I like it. I like to do it.
I tried
At what point did you start saying, well, when people asked you what you did, what you do, at what point were you like, I am a model?
When I moved to New York, and I haven't had, I mean, I kind of have a real job, like before, but I really haven't had like a real job in like ever since I moved to New York. I don't know how I have money. I'm just like signed to my agency, and like
Yeah.
I was a teacher in a detention center for a little bit, but that was only 2 days a week because budgets are really bad for the city, which is really sad. And honestly, just doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy. Well, okay, if you're freelance, you're always busy and you don't know why or how. You just are.
Like word. And if it's not a
And
specific
see
job,
you.
if it's not a specific job, it's the stress of trying to find one.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I do it. We do way too much. I don't know. I mean, look, let's just catch up in general.
Yeah.
So Sage and I we have the Red Dot, which you were introduced to like
Yes.
a couple years ago. Was it like a year, maybe 2 years ago?
I think 3,
3.
to be honest.
No
Yeah.
way.
I
Time
really
flies.
think 3.
Fuck. Okay. Cool. I think you're right. Yeah. So we still do that. We have our full-time job situations. All right.
Wow.
That bus was so loud that it
That's
went across the
amazing.
room.
We're inside of a fucking building,
Like-
inside of a box.
In the
And-
furthest back. We're so far from the
Yeah.
street.
It's a good time.
It is. So we took, and then we were doing our own freelance stuff, but then we also just took on a brick and mortar called New Women's Space.
Yes.
You
I've
gotta
seen
check it
that.
out.
It looks amazing.
I mean, we're figuring it out, but it's still volunteer
guys-
based.
You guys took it on, like,
Sign the lease,
Mhm.
running the space, but don't get paid
was
for
it
it.
developed before you?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, but you
So
guys
sweet.
believe in it.
Yeah,
so you
totally.
Just, like, let's do it.
It was gonna close, and we were like, let's
Oh,
just give
shit.
it like a
no.
little bit.
Yeah.
So many people rely on this space as
Yeah.
not only a support system, but
Yeah.
for all the programming that they do, all the connections that
Mhm.
happen within the space. So we're like, this can't close.
Yeah.
At least not this year. Now, now that we're in it, we're
No,
like,
for
no, I'm
sure.
just kidding. But we would love. You need to check it out. If you
I
got
want
events
to.
that you want to do,
Yeah.
it is. You can do it under Red Dot. That shit. It could be a free event space for an idea that you want to do.
Oh.
So bing, bing.
Possibilities are endless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real. But first, I wanted. Okay, so I was telling. I didn't tell you this part. So I was telling Yasmin about that psychic reading that I had.
Yeah.
I needed to dive
Yes,
into like real
yeah.
life what's been going on this week. Okay.
No, for sure.
So I was. So after the reading, you know, yeah, you're gonna have to believe it more by swallowing.
Sage is doing a facial expression. That's what we're
Basically.
saying.
She lets me have my Pisces intuition. Like, she's a Virgo life, but she fully supports. Right?
I do. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I love hearing.
What
Yes.
travels I go through on the spiritual realm. Yeah. So I looked up this constellation, Pleiades or something like that, the Seven Sisters, and I couldn't find shit other than Greek history stuff. And then I looked into it more regarding the quote that said "child of Pleiades." And when I looked into that, it led me to some alien shit. That basically it's like this theory that we are, or certain people are descendants from this alien being that brings enlightenment and theories of like transcending and assisting humanity to get to a transcending level.
Excuse me.
I know, right?
What if you're one of them, though?
Right?
What if we all are?
We all,
I think in this room, I think right
Absolutely.
here. Yes, I believe it. Yeah.
But she was saying how her mom like also looks into this shit. So when I was nervous because it's like the first
Yeah.
thing I told her, like, how's my day? This is my day. This is what I looked up all day.
She's like, I'm an alien. And I'm like, great. My mom really believes in you.
So it was just a very transcending moment. I'm sorry, we're just going off right
have
now.
you two ever thought about your past life? Have you ever seen it or experienced it? Tell me.
Yes, but I want you to go first because you seem like you have a story for that.
Yeah, okay.
Please.
With me and my Pisces friend,
Yes.
she's actually my psychic,
Awesome.
I guess, you know?
Yeah.
And
You're
we went
intuitive.
to a crystal bowl healing, and you just lay there or whatever, and it was a group thing. It was like a bunch of women, and we're like laying there, and I'm like, okay, cool, I feel vibrations, whatever. No. Out of nowhere, I fall asleep. I wake up in like Aztec, like Mexico or whatever, and I'm running, and this like Tarzan, essentially, like handsome prince with long hair and a loincloth. Me and him are running through the forest, running from these people chasing us.
Yeah.
And then we sit on, it's not a canoe, it's like one of those where the logs are tied together.
Raft? No.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it was
yeah,
a
yeah,
raft.
yeah.
Yeah, it was-
We sit on a raft, we're trying to get away from the people attacking us, and then I drown, and then I wake up and he's carrying me on land. And like, I'm afraid of water. I tell I never.
my eyes
get
got lit,
this,
but your
bitch.
eyes got lit.
Like a year later, I tell my mom the story, and my mom's like, "No, I told you that story about your aunt."
What?
And I was like, "No, that's my story." She's like, "No, that's your aunt's story." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" My aunt deadass had the same thing because they go to psychics because of that
Yeah.
alien thing. My aunt had the same dream, and then historically in Aztec history, there is a princess who drowned, and there's this very famous painting. They went to Mexico, and she got this painting, and she brought it to my aunt, and my aunt started crying because she's like, "That's the dream I had." So
Wait.
it's like in history.
Yeah. Oh my God. If you look up, depending on what time period it is, you can look up your past life and like record. That has totally happened to my mom as well. Wait. So was it your life, or was it your past life, or were you recalling your aunt's past life?
I think
energy
that
is
we were
energy.
all part of this like royal
Community or
yeah,
family?
and I think it was just like all of us, and I don't know which one of us it was, but I really felt it was me. But my mom's afraid of swimming, my aunt's afraid of swimming, so it's like maybe we all lived it, you know, because
And we all travel in soul groups.
exactly.
We are.
But I think I was my mom's mom.
Yeah. That fucking.
Yeah,
Wow. I love getting. I'm sweating.
I know, it's so
I'm
exciting.
learning so much.
Girl, I get so nervous because Sage can be quiet that I'm scared. Like even yesterday when I was telling her about my reading that I
Yeah.
had, I was like, "You with me?" Like, I was like
Checking
in. So I was like, so she totally did it intuitive thing. I'm trying to prove to you that this is true, but like I believe this shit. But she's so supportive that she's like, I just don't know though.
But,
Tell me.
But Virgos are pretty psychic. I mean, you guys can read people to a T.
Word.
Like immediately you can like sense that person's energy. Even if you guys are like, you're like, I don't believe in horoscope or whatever, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, I am very spiritual, although, yeah, I don't know.
It's not organized, right?
No.
Yeah,
No.
more just on the spiritual.
Totally.
level.
Take it all in.
Yeah.
See how I feel. Depends on the day.
As long as I'm there to like shout in her ear, like, this is what happened to me. I did have a past life regret. Oh yeah, you're gonna fucking love this. Okay, so I have a therapist. I have a hypnotherapist, and she's also a psychic. This is different than the woman that did my reading, but she also is close to my family, and you know, so I meet with her like once a week. There was, I think my question for that session was like, I'm just trying to find my purpose just to make sure I'm like on the right path or something like that. And so I did a past life regression, and she, as using hypnosis, leads you down to your past life, right? And I drop down, I look around, my skin is so much darker than what it is. I have jewelry on my ankles, so I can visualize all of this stuff, right? I was in a village in the desert. I would say the Middle East, can't specify where, but this is a landscape that I literally always draw. I constantly draw this landscape, right? It's very significant to me. I go into like my house, I can tell you where like the table is, the chair is, my husband's like cooking something. I live with my family. There's like a tapestry on the floor, it's like a rug, right? Visualize all this. There was a raid in the village, and it killed like majority of my village, and like my family included. They dragged me out into the desert. I escape, I go back, grab my stuff, and I live like a life of solitude for like my early 20s. Then she drops me during a different time, same life, just different age. And I'm in like a bazaar, I'm picking up herbs. I'm like looking around, I see a public execution, and I'm like, I have such disgust. And it's like, I have so much violence around my life, right? I was just like, I hate this. It was so normal, but still I absolutely hated it. She drops me into one more part of my life, and I'm working as a doula in like a village of women that just help. They're like midwives, and they just help people give birth.
Oh, wow.
And I live my life like first in solitude, and then just with women for the rest of my life, and I die like old, but as like one of the main midwives. And it's crazy because it correlates to my period work and reproductive work.
No,
How
for
fucking
sure.
nuts is that?
100%.
Insane.
And that space that you guys are taking on right now
Right?
also.
Yes. Fucking nuts.
It's so incredible.
I love it. We're in a very transcending time in this
Dude,
generation.
You know what? I've been hearing people's thoughts.
No,
Sorry.
I love it. The way
I've been like keeping it a secret. I only tell my friends.
public space. I love it. You're in a safe space, one.
Yes.
And that will be introduced to everyone. But yes.
Yeah, I
Please.
remember I woke up next to my partner and I was like, "Are you breaking up with me?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? You're acting like, what are you saying?" And I'm like, "I can't believe you just said that." And like literally I was laying there, and it's like he said to me like, "I'm so tired of doing this."
Ooh.
We just got in a fight the night before.
Okay.
Though. But like I swear to God, I read his mind. He thought I was like going crazy, and I'm like, I was so mad at him because I know that that's what he said.
Word.
And another thing is like, I read my friend's mind about why she was moving out of her apartment.
Yeah.
She was moving into mine. And so she, like, I literally, like, I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden I get like sucked into her body, and I'm like, her thoughts are like going through my head, and then I'm
Holy
like
shit.
sucked back into my body, and I'm like, I just panicked, and I was like, what did I just feel? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like very scary, but I really knew it was real because it's, I don't know, you could just feel it in your body.
Yeah. Look, I'm totally agree, because that is what I asked my psychic that I was talking to, and she was describing moments when she was doing like police work, and she was helping police find stuff. She could go into victims who have been murdered or the murderer. So that's shit that she could feel. And she was like, I couldn't even tell you what was worse. Like, right?
Yeah.
But that's what she described. Like, you just get sucked into the person's body. You're kind of confused because you're like, especially if it's first time kind of
Very
situation.
confusing.
I wonder if you can like practice that and try to like, maybe you should look into it more.
Well, in those moments I was very upset, and my friend told me, She was like, well, in moments of intense emotion is when you are also most spiritually vulnerable. And so that's why that happened to you. So like just try to like harness it and like get into your body more if you, because I was like, I want to turn it off. And then this ayahuasca man was like, don't turn it off, you just got it turned on, it's there for a reason, so just like do it for the right intention.
Word. So you've done ayahuasca before?
No, I was just talking to somebody about it.
What is I'm just based off of the ayahuasca, what is the most enlightening drug experience that you've had, if you've ever had one?
One time, this sounds I microdose mushrooms sometimes.
Oh, please tell me about it, 'cause I'm trying to do that.
It's really amazing. It's really, really great, especially in Seattle, because you know the weather sucks. So that's the only reason I was like in school for a while, and I made it through. So I was microdosing mushrooms, and then one day I was like, okay, I'm gonna microdose, like, but I'm gonna paint instead, because I never do art like under the influence. I feel like, you know, I'm like, oh, like I should follow like for my spirit versus like have to make myself drunk or high or whatever. So I was like, I microdosed a mushroom, and then I forgot that I did that, and I smoked a little bit of weed, and so that mushroom high just like got intense.
Shit.
And then I was like, I'm scared and I'm dying, so I'm gonna masturbate.
That would ground you.
Yeah,
that can ground you.
I masturbated, and when I orgasmed, I got out of my body, I was catapulted into the galaxy, and I became Sailor Mars, like, you know, like
shut the fuck up!
I swear to God.
Sailor Moon, I was just looking at this.
I love Sailor Moon, and like in the cartoon,
so
she's
jealous.
like, Mars, fire, ignite, and she does this thing, and like
Mars, fire.
and like my orgasm was literally that, and then like I exploded and came back into my body.
Wow, every time I hear friends have a Sailor Moon drug reference, whether it's like salvia or fucking shrooms, I get so jealous, because I'm like, if I can just control my high, I would be in the Sailor Moon universe, no problem. Actually, it would probably be a problem. I would like do it too much.
Problematic shit in that show.
Our plan is to do shrooms next weekend.
Oh,
so
yeah,
let us know
where
if
at?
you're, I don't know, like a park. So if you're free,
Yeah.
and wanna, got a lot. We do. We do.
Got a shit
for
ton.
some reason, we just
that's
like
amazing.
gathered.
I'm
all
really into that.
We manifested.
Manifested,
We manifested this.
It's happening.
Okay, so to redirect, now that we're flowing,
Yeah.
do you have, just out in the dark, a con of the week that you want to celebrate?
Oh shit.
I'm not even prepared, so I'm just.
My best friend Ty.
Okay, Ty.
There you go. Ty.
Her baby dad is being a bitch, but she's like, her boundaries are great. She's an amazing mother. She's in school full time. She's getting her own place. She's doing everything. She's like running her own online shop, and she's honestly, like you know, like it's hard to be a young mom, and like. She does not make it personal about her. Like, she really makes it, like, non-biased about her child.
Wow.
And I really admire that, because it's hard to not make it about yourself, especially as a young person.
How old is she?
She's 27.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, honestly, when I find my friends who are having kids, which I totally celebrate, it just seems so scary.
It does.
At this age. And it's like the growth, but the connection to yourself and then to another being must be so profound.
Yeah.
It's a unique and very lucky experience, I would say, but hard.
Yeah, all of those things. All of those things. And, well, cut of the week, right? She was telling me, like, people think I'm a bitch because I'm setting my boundaries. And, like, especially, like, as a black woman, you're not allowed to do that because you're like, oh, you're being aggressive or whatever. And she's like, I'm just taking care of myself and nurturing my needs. Am I allowed to do that? Like, yeah.
It shouldn't even have to be, right? It shouldn't even have to be like a sarcastic,
exactly.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I have your permission?
Exactly.
It's like you're literally just sacrifice your mind, body, spirit for a beautiful other being.
Yes.
But can I take a bath? Can I just like, I don't know, smoke some
Can I
weed,
not
maybe?
answer my phone? Like, fuck.
Right? Oh, fuck. Well, Ty, right?
Yes.
Thanks for being a bad bitch and being that cunt, you know?
There you
That's
go.
right.
There you go.
Do you have a cunt of the week, Sage?
Does anyone watch Big Little Lies? No.
Oh. Did you finish?
Everyone talks about it. So
do you care if we dive in?
No, go ahead, because Zoe Kravitz is on it.
Yes.
I like her.
Okay, great. go. I finished it, so
Okay,
I'm ready. Yeah, you can
So
spoil it.
Spoiler. If anyone is listening,
Listening.
and haven't caught up, then spoiler. Skip like 30 seconds ahead.
I guess we may dive in. Who knows? We'll do a recap
Yeah.
of the time.
Yeah, I guess. So, kind of the week. I wish I had a better one, but Celeste in the show,
Bad bitch
Yeah.
contest. Oh
Okay,
god.
who is that?
played by Nicole Kidman.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a very intense backstory that we don't necessarily have to get into, but in the most recent season, she is in court with her husband's mother over custody over her kids because, damn.
I mean, you
About
said
the, like-
spoiler. Do you mind?
No, please.
Because it leads up to it anyway.
Okay.
Spoil it.
Her husband, Perry, was killed. He was murdered. And so his mom came, what did she do? She just like, obviously her son was murdered. So she like came to, was trying to figure out what the hell happened. Because it was named like an accident. She could feel that it wasn't. Everyone knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
But there was no evidence and what have you. So after that murder happened, after that whole situation, Celeste, Nicole Kidman, she was grieving her dead husband, but also a big situation that happened, or a big caveat in their relationship, was that it was extremely abusive, both ways, but mostly against her. Physically, emotionally, verbally, everything.
But she loved him.
Yep.
And they would get a sexual response, or
Oh.
it's
After
like
each, yeah.
it got like trained. She got like trained to receive sex after,
Interesting.
and so she was having a hard time processing that. Very realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in her own way, in her grieving process, she was, taking Ambien, sleeping around, trying to fill that void that she wasn't getting because her husband is dead.
Yeah.
And like abuse.
Totally.
Yeah, a whole lot to unpack in that situation. But as a result of that, her mother-in-law decided that she was unfit to take care of her kids.
Played by Meryl
So-
Streep.
Yes.
Oh my
Ooh.
God, bitch! I
Ooh.
love Meryl Streep.
Ooh.
Honestly,
She-
best role she's ever
Yeah.
done.
She
Swear.
commanded that entire season.
Yeah, fucking crazy. She's so
Pissed me
good.
off.
I know, she made me so mad.
I'm excited.
Just yeah, and she's actually doing a great job not spoiling it. So I think you would really enjoy.
I think I'm gonna watch it now. To be
Yeah.
honest, like literally while you're explaining it, I'm like, I'm secretly gonna ignore everyone for like 2 days and watch.
And
that
just watch
show.
it. It's
Yeah.
fine. She really is not spoiling anything aggressive.
Yeah. But yeah, Celeste basically still a licensed attorney.
Yeah.
In her state. She decided to take matters into her own hands, and she was that cunt. I won't spoil it any further, just so that you can really feel.
Okay. Yeah. I understand.
I'm glad
Feel
that
the emotion.
we had the compassion to still not
Thank
spoil
you.
it for you.
Yes.
So I
But
think
People be so pressed off of spoilers, and I'm like, well, I honestly, I don't have a good memory, or like, you know, I don't pay
honestly, same.
attention.
Same. I was looking at Endgame, like Avengers, and I was looking that up. Someone spoiled it already because I was like, I'm not gonna watch this shit, and then I'm obviously streaming it illegally. And I was like, I don't fucking remember the ending. So this is fine.
Yeah.
I don't fucking remember. Celeste really is that cunt though.
Yeah,
She really, and definitely would be called a cunt. By
Celeste the
she
cunt.
was.
Yeah.
Amazing.
not explicitly,
sh-
but yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to
So many
think.
words. Yeah, she was.
Meryl Streep has a good Instagram, by the way.
No.
She has
It's
Instagram?
really
fucking
funny.
Way. I'm
It's like
looking up
really
right now.
ridiculous hats, poofy skirts, and her poodle. Like,
Whose daughters? Oh my god, what?
I know.
Okay,
Did you
Rihanna
see
just
that?
posted this picture,
Yeah.
and is that? She
Isn't that
literally said,
crazy?
"Drop my phone now." She's so funny. I love her.
She's a
what
Pisces.
the fuck? Yes. See, I claim her, not Bow Wow.
Oh wow! I'm so sorry.
I'm being dead serious. I really claim her and not Bow Wow. I mean, obviously, but like seriously. I was a big fan of Bow Wow. I even said
Me
that.
too.
Took a picture when I was like 13. My nana took a picture of me in my little bikini, and I was like cross-legged, like ready to. She's like, "We're gonna take a photo. We're gonna send it to him. He's gonna love you." Never did. Obviously, it was for her to like
Yeah.
laugh at, but I was like, okay. Put my best angle on, and now look at him. Look at him. Fucking abuser too. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, Ray
Yeah.
J sucks too.
Oh.
They all.
All of them.
Anyways, who's your cunt?
Yeah. Who's yours?
I really don't think I have one. I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, it's okay.
I would say I'm still celebrating the fact that Ariel is black, but that is old news. But I'm still celebrating that.
It's new.
It right.
Yeah.
Still fresh.
Yeah.
You guys are so fucking kind.
Yeah, that still works.
I don't know. I think the kind of the week is me being a celestial being. I don't know.
Fuck yeah.
I think
you
I
being
think that
an
is
alien.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is like that. I was able to reconnect and actually feel, truly feel connected to this new news. I'm excited to explore this, and I would also say my psychic Whitney is that kind of the week because she is a down to earth, sweet as can be white woman from Massachusetts that is like, if you need a real ass reading, like go to her. She's no bullshit. Right?
No, for real.
Like she's no bullshit. Just hit me up. Like listen to this and like hit me up. I'll hook you up. Okay. So let's like dive in. I made questions because I'm like semi prepared with my communication degree. Semi. So first off, let's just talk. You're a model. You're a very talented artist. We met in Seattle. What else do you do?
I
don't know.
I play with kids a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you use art to
Yeah.
inspire the kids that you like work with?
Yeah. When I was in Seattle, I was doing some private art lessons.
Wow.
So that was really great. I really liked it more than I thought, to be honest. And then again, when I was working in like the juvenile detention center,
How old were they in the
13 to 18, and
Yeah.
it was insane.
Yeah, I was
it
gonna say how tough.
It was in the
was.
Bronx, so it was actually apparently it was like the most difficult one to work in. Before me, it was a lot of also shout out Art Start for the work that they do, like this organization. Art Start. They're
I
based
love
in like
that.
Chelsea, but they do a lot of programs across the whole city.
I love it.
But they apparently the teachers before me like kept quitting, but they were like they went to college, and they were like kind of like white people that went to college for art, and like that's not gonna work in like a minority or whatever, like poverty stricken area, you know what I mean? Like you're not gonna be able to connect.
Yep.
So when
sorry.
oh
I just meant like how did you connect? That was the only thing.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
well first of all, I'm not afraid of like also you don't have to talk to like kids of color like they're special or something. They're
Right.
just regular kids. So
Yeah.
you just talk to them like you're gonna talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people like talk to them like they're really really special and in need, when there's some of the like most intelligent kids I've ever met in my life, and these kids are smarter than most of my friends. Like
Wow.
honestly, they're super aware, super mindful. I was in jail for a little bit, like not a whole ordeal thing. Like everyone's like, oh my god, when I talk about it, it was like I went to for 2 months, and it was like a thing or whatever. And so like I can connect with that, like you know, like I understand what they're going through. Yeah, and whatever, they're just like teenagers. Let them be teenagers or preteens, whatever, just processing and go through their day.
You had a realer experience in jail, because I like to say I was arrested once and I took photos in a cell.
You took photos in the cell?
Yeah, they were.
Where was your phone?
Right.
The fuck?
Okay, so here's my funny little story. Went to a party. This white kid gave the keys to this other kid and was like, "Throw on party. I don't care." Dumb fucking white kids. I would never. Anyway, even though whatever. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I was DD. Ended up getting. I didn't even drink. So I like walked out the front door as the cops are raiding. I was like, I'm not gonna get in trouble. I'm DD. It's fine. Like, I didn't drink. I didn't do anything wrong. They rounded us like 18 of us. We go to jail. I literally, for some reason, they just didn't take my shit, but they took my best friend's shit and like took her glasses, took her earrings, and she's blind as a bat. Literally took Zoe's glasses.
Oh my God.
And she literally, like, when we got out, she's like, Eva. Just like grabbing the wall. She can't see shit. While I'm just like, yeah, taking a selfie next to the toilet. Obnoxious, very privileged, irritating, but whatever. Next day was my graduation party, so that was cool.
And you didn't get arrested there?
No, but my parents, they were just like, "What? You were good for a good amount of time."
When they
what
let
the fuck
you
happened?
out, they just let all of you guys out at the same time? Did
Yeah.
they call your parents?
They
or?
called our parents. I literally got reprimanded. My ass was like, fucked.
Yeah.
But, you know, they already paid for all the catering and shit for the party, so I still had a party, right? But joke's on you. Can't waste that shit. Deposits down.
Oh my God.
But regardless, though, it taught me a lot. So I'm sure 2 months taught you a lot. Did it? I don't know. How was that? Do you mind if we ask further about that? Or
yeah, no. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I'm so glad I had it. You know, it was a very human experience, and also one of the. I feel like it humbled me a lot, and also like I've never connected to women as much as I have while I was in there, which was super amazing to see, like how women can come together, build community. And like you have each other's back because you have nothing else. You guys are all equal. There's no like hierarchy. You guys are wearing the same thing. You guys are eating the same nasty ass food. You guys have to share food. Like, you know, we're like threading each other's eyebrows with tampon strings and like all the, you know, like it's a thing.
How was that? Just because we do period work, the availability to have or the access to products. What was your experience? Were you in jail or were you in a detention center?
No, it was jail.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like 23.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we had a lot of tampons and pads, but you know, it's like also in control of the like, what are those cops called that are in jail? Whatever. They're not a PO because that's when I got out. Okay, you guys know what I mean.
Warden.
Yeah,
I know you wanted to say warden.
Those fucking assholes that are in jail. Like sometimes
Security
I would be basically a security guard. You're not a cop.
Yeah, right. That's what
You
I
thought. No, you're not.
Mall cop, and then he got a promotion to fucking
Yeah. They would like. If they were like annoyed of you, they would withhold things, and sometimes they would withhold like tampons and pads, and I'd be like buzzing the thing, and I'd be like, I need a pad, and they'd be like ignoring me for hours, and I'd be like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I never thought that this would be happening to me. Like, you think that's in a movie, but imagine, because it's like such a vulnerable thing. So I was like, wait, they're actually doing this to me, and I have like a stupid ass charge, and I'm in here. Like, imagine people that like genuinely have a real charge, are doing real time, and are not in the position of privilege that I am and what they are experiencing. And that was just like the biggest eye-opener for me.
I love it. And what I mean, again, just following you so aggressively on social media, you're like one of the top 4 that pop up in my stories. But you've always spoken out using your platform. Was this an experience that you, I guess, later on your art reflected, or just, and it doesn't have to be directly from that experience, but just whatever shifted in your perspective, do you apply your art? Do you connect to that place, or?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah. Like, do I harness almost like something, emotion?
Yeah.
Or something. For a minute, I mean, like I was doing a lot of feminist work at a time, so yeah, and I was kind of angry for a while. Okay. So my art was really angry because I was on probation for like 3 years. So I was just like very like fuck everything, you know. And I think it was coming out in my art, but
did it heal you in some fashion though?
Yeah,
providing work like artwork in response to that frustration and that anger.
Yeah, it made me really want to do what I want to do, which was art.
Okay,
yeah.
There it is. Yeah. There we go. Loving the work that you do. Again, we're for the Red Dot Art Show. We definitely want to showcase that stuff. because I don't know if you follow her stuff yet, but it's like
Not
Red
yet,
Dot
yeah.
does, but
Yeah.
in terms of it truly is dope, real ass feminist art. And so, just really quickly, because I feel like I skipped a question starting the questions. What's your background in terms of like where you grew up? What kind? I mean, if you want, what kind of kid were you like? But more
Yeah.
so, just a little bit of that background.
Totally. My dad is Syrian. My mom is Armenian.
I love that. That's the first thing.
It's literally, I'm like, you guys are going to listen after I say these two things. No, really. It's
For
like,
real, we
it's
get
marketing.
that.
I was born in Russia. It was like communist Russia. So
Yeah.
then we came to America when I was 3 years old. I was raised, we lived in like these like weird Section 8 housing with a lot of white trash.
Okay.
And it was in a rich neighborhood. It was in Kirkland, Washington.
Okay.
So it was like rich people and then like
on the side.
yeah, we were like on the edge. It was like this nasty place. There was like actually shootings in my complex. Like people think of like Kirkland, like, you know, Microsoft. Yeah, sure. My parents were like working for $3 an hour at a laundromat, and like I was, you know, like hanging out with people like probably doing drugs in their living room, you know? So it was weird. It was very weird. It almost reminded me of like Eminem, like 8 Mile, like
Damn.
Oh,
like
no.
like white. You know
I
what
never
I mean?
saw the movie.
Yeah, well, it's like very like white person, but like the struggle. It was weird. I don't know.
I mean, he had a
But you
legit
get the
struggle.
idea, right?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
definitely seen the music video.
Yeah.
So.
So I was like hanging out with people like that, and so that was me. I was very I was always like a diva child, like wearing like colorful things, and my mom would always take me to like the local mall. They had like live music on Friday and Saturday, so she would dress me up and I would like go dance when there's a live band. They knew me, like they would bring me on the stage, and I was just like this little weird kid that was like hairy and like farting, and like on my 8th birthday party I had diarrhea and I pooped my pants. And
That
like,
is amazing. The fact that you just laughed. Yes.
It was like weird because I had like a really super immigrant childhood growing up in this neighborhood with like rich white kids and weird white kids. It was fucking weird. I don't know.
That's such an interesting like dynamic. No, truly, like in a
Yeah.
class system like that, that's such a very different dynamic. It's like you're in this situation, but you see this other situation.
Yeah.
And you went to public school, right?
Yeah.
Were there like one of those kids that like, I guess those rich kids that grew up in the
Yeah.
public school? So it was just an intertwined experience.
It was. Yeah. It was very weird because like they would make fun of the food I would bring, or like,
Classic.
yeah, for sure. Right?
Yep.
Is your family like American?
My so my dad is black, but my mom is Filipino, and
Oh,
whenever
yeah.
I would bring Filipino food, it would, as soon as I opened
Yep.
the top, it would just fill the whole cafeteria. Everyone's like, "What
And
is?"
she grew up in Dallas.
Yeah,
Oh, so what was it predominantly though?
white.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I don't know. So yeah.
Wait. Yeah, but I went to Catholic school
Oh wow.
for K through 12. So
Yeah.
that was also
Just like
another thing.
Totally.
take the Tupperware.
Yeah.
Well, there's this thing that I've been talking to my friends over years, you know, and so it's like when you come from like a culture that is not necessarily like an American culture, and then you're like put in these places that are like more American, I would say, you kind of like develop this own culture. It's like in between both. It's like you're bringing yours and you're like assimilating to this, and it's just like, and you're like in Catholic school and Filipino and black. It's just like all these different layers.
How complex is that? It's just like
There's so much code switching
Yes,
that has to take
yes.
place.
Yeah.
So many different levels of it. It's
Mhm.
exhausting.
Yes.
Do you ever get the what are you?
Yeah. And I'm say, in which way?
Yeah.
How?
Or I choose to say just like I don't say anything.
Yeah.
Just like I don't feel like answering it, and then I get challenged for that.
Mm.
I'm like I'm just asking
Yeah.
because it's always a guy. I'm just asking.
It's always a guy. And
Mm.
I always say like, what do you mean?
yeah. That's also a fair question. If you're gonna ask that question, you respond with a fair question. Like I mean, I literally don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes, of course you know what they want,
Right.
but in terms of how they're suggesting it,
yeah.
classic. So you shit yourself when you were 8.
Let's bring that back. Here we go.
And then, you eventually, I mean, I want to come back to like how we met and the fact that you were working in Seattle. You were doing, you're selling your art at, I always mess up their name. Women Who Weefy? Women
No.
Weed Weefy.
No.
Women, okay.
Is it not Wi-Fi? Is
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi pronounced Wi-Fi?
I think I always, okay, challenge me.
Oh,
Yes, I love it.
I've heard it pronounced Wi-Fi, but
Really?
It's probably because I was saying Wi-Fi and then it's Wi-Fi. Maybe? I
my
don't
mom
know.
says Wi-Fi.
What?
Who does?
My mom says Wi-Fi. Maybe that's.
Okay.
Okay, we got to get Vanity
Like an
on the
immigrant
line
thing.
to like.
Right. Well,
like,
it's women
no.
weed Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi if you
Yes.
pronounce it that way.
How did you get involved? Because that's when our roads crossed. So how
Yeah.
did you get involved in that fashion?
Oh my God, how did I? I don't know. They just started inviting me. I was like friends with them, and then they saw my work, and they're like, "Do you want to be in the zine?" And I was like, "Yeah." Oh, okay.
There it is.
Actually, yeah. Okay. Janice was a DJ. I was like, "Oh my God, you're one of the best DJs I've ever heard. Like, this is amazing. You're playing this huge array of music." She's a Leo too. She was working at the shop. She's
She's one of their partners, right? She's
yeah,
like part of
it's
it.
Vanity, Amanya, Janice.
Janice,
Yeah.
got it.
And then she like got me an art show at the store that she was working at, and then ever since then we were just like all close, and like it was just like amazing.
It was honestly, when I went to that event, that was actually literally the first time I acknowledged my queer identity.
What?
Let me fucking tell you. Like, sitting next to you guys, and I was just like, holy shit, I'm gay. Like, I literally,
Yes.
for real, that was a very significant moment in my life. I was like, I'm getting like slightly emotional, but it was just so warm. Like, Seattle was one of the best trips I've ever had, and meeting you and meeting, like, we were literally sitting next to each other, and like I was so nervous to talk to you, so like in all seriousness, because like you were so like bad bitch, like it was just like your work was gorgeous. I didn't even bring like any tapestry for Red Dot. It was just the stickers of the shirt. Sage wasn't there to help, she normally designs the fuck out of it. And I was just like, okay, look at these fabulous ass women. This is a very queer event. And I was just like, okay, yeah, this is my people. But then at the end we were chatting, and it was just, we connected, and it was awesome.
Yeah, and I thought what you do is really amazing and super important.
Thank
Yeah.
you, dude. And I don't know, so please, I'm sorry, continue. Like, you were doing work showing your work for them, and then what made you travel to New York?
I got signed to an agency that's in New York.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, but I was based in Seattle. They had like a section or whatever, like a thing in Seattle, but I was not booking work in Seattle because it's like Nordstrom, North Face, like skinny white models. I'm like edgy and weird. I was in school at the time. I wasn't doing good at school. I was just in school. And I kept getting like castings or bookings that were like in New York and like made like tight ones, like Gap and stuff. But I couldn't do it because I was in school, and I was like really trying to
That
do
sucks,
the right
though.
thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I just dropped out, and I was like, wait, fuck school. And then I was like, I came to visit New York just to like do some like test shoots, just to visit. Like, I got my tax return, and I was like, I'm gonna go on a trip to New York. And then when I came here, my friend was moving out of her apartment, and it was like a very good deal. And I was like, wait, God answered my prayers. And like,
yeah, you manifested it.
the craziest thing is, like, when I was a child, this doesn't sound like that important, but honestly, it's so important to me. When I was a child, I told my parents, since I was a kid, I'm like, I'm going to move to New York and be a fashion designer. Because I've been in art school since I was like 3 years old, like just drawing. And I would draw clothes. And like my mom taught me how to do paper dolls, and I would like design outfits for them. And as I got older, I was like, ew, fashion, like I'm just going to do art. But I never.
It's so true, though.
Right.
Like, fashion is such a dying like breed. Like,
Exactly. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to move to New York because like I have developed this life in Seattle on the West Coast. I was like back and forth from LA. And then like when that opportunity presented itself, I was like, fuck it. Like, I've reached my cap in Seattle. I know everyone. I've done it all. Like, I'm lit here. Let's
Yeah.
get it going.
Yeah.
And so I moved to New York, and I'm so glad I did.
I'm so glad you did too.
Yeah.
That was a big moment. I was like, fuck, okay, so we're gonna finally hang out. Has
We
it happened?
haven't. It's almost a year.
Literally.
But tell me this, isn't it so hard to connect with people in New
Absolutely.
York? Or am I just a lazy ass
No,
bitch?
you're absolutely not. Literally, when you texted me, we were supposed to go to a party together. It's like, I think it was Poppy Juice or something.
Yeah,
and we were
yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to go. And then it was like, and maybe an hour, maybe 30 minutes before we were supposed to meet up. And then she was like, you know what? Would you hate me if I just couldn't do it? And I was like, girl.
She was playing video games.
I was like, I am not trying to go out. I'm so happy you fucking said that.
Yeah, thank you for saying it
Yeah,
first.
for real.
Especially the
That's
first time
experience.
hanging out with a person,
Yeah,
right?
it's a lot. Thank you for saying that. It truly, because you have to be more on.
Yeah.
You do, but then when if you vibe and you're like, okay, I don't have to work as hard. It's
Exactly.
chill. It's fun. I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah.
But I think people need to hear that more.
They do.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's just dive into your recent accomplishment.
Uh.
Bitches on Real World Atlanta had to
Hello.
right. I was wondering where you've been on social media. You
Yeah.
dipped for like 3 months.
Totally. Everyone's like, where are you? I was getting turn my phone back on. People are like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, mind your business. Leave me alone.
Not even like, oh no, babe, like I'm good. It's
Yeah.
just like, why are you even bothering talking to me right now? What was that one? What made you want to apply to Real World?
I didn't apply to it. They found me. I was like
What?
on an airplane. I was getting off the airplane. I turned off airplane mode, and then I read my voicemail, like your iPhone, and writes it. And I was like, wait, what is this weird cryptic thing? And then I listened to it, and it's like a casting person. And I was like, this is fraud.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that.
No, for sure. And then he called again, within 5 minutes, and I was like, hey, okay. And then he was like, hey, I found you. Would you be interested? And I was like, well, okay, yeah, whatever you need me to do. They kept emailing me links to upload videos and photos of myself. And then I did. And then I was Skype interviewing them. And then they were like, hey, so I thought I was about to get it. And I was like, oh, okay. And then they were like, no, we found someone else. And I was like, okay, tight. I'm happy because it's when I was working at the jail.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I love my job. I'm not going to leave the kids in the middle of school year. And I just was dating my partner. So I was like, this is perfect. I'm in a good, happy relationship. I have a good job. I'm stable human being.
Way to embrace all the abundances around you and just not overthink it.
Yeah. And then they called me back. And then they're like, please fly out in 2 days to live in-person interview. And I was like, you guys rejected me? No. And then they're like, please just try.
Were they going to pay for your flight?
They do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm just
Hell
making
no.
sure.
I would
I'm just
never
fucking
do
making
that.
sure.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
2 days?
No.
Hello.
And then they flied me out or whatever and phoned me. What the fuck is English?
Flu?
Flew. Yeah, good job. Virgo.
Woo.
On it.
I literally.
Yeah, thank God. And then out of nowhere, they call me a week later and they're like, hey, pack your bags. You're leaving in 24 hours or whatever. And I was like, wait, I'm irritated. I was so irritated. I was like, they record you.
Finding out, right?
Yeah. And she's like, you don't look excited. And I'm like, I'm
stressed.
Yeah. I'm confused.
I don't have enough time
Yeah.
to do everything I need to before I leave.
Exactly. Well, I have also 6 planets in Virgo. So I'm I need it good and right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Together, everything organized, and
Yeah.
then I am ready to go.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so look, when I found out you were on it, I was like, well, this is even more exciting. I don't know if I was gonna watch it, but I was like,
I would
okay,
never
I have
watch it.
someone that I knew on it. Of course, I'm gonna watch. I've watched 3 episodes. I stopped, but then for this interview, I watched more. Because the structure of it is so different now.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the social media emphasis?
It's important. I think it's much more impactful. First of all, who has a TV? And
Fair.
some people that do, sure, but I don't think that's the demographic is gonna relate to us. You know what I mean?
Good point.
It's also super accessible. I love sitting on the train and waiting for it to buffer every 10 few stops.
It brings the suspense.
Exactly.
It builds. But we would have watch parties for you. I was
Oh
we
my
would bring the
God.
girls together and I was just the first few episodes, you fucking killed. I mean, the whole time you were like
Yeah.
a mother in the space. Like,
You're
I
the
could
most
already
level-headed person.
Yeah.
literally,
I
like,
know.
she's
Entire
sane,
situation.
and everyone else is like not.
Well, the producer pulled me aside and he was like, Yasmin, you're frustrating me because you're so, like, you're the voice of reason and, like,
We can't have. It's not good for ratings.
yeah, he was like, can you, like, be more vulnerable? And I was like, I'm just being myself.
Okay, so when you, what are, let me see. I have so many questions, but I want to be organized at the same
Yeah,
time.
no,
I
it's good.
prepped at my full-time job questions and not did my job.
Let's do it. Let's do it that way.
Okay, so okay, you came in, did you have a personal agenda when you came in?
Hell yeah, I did.
I love
I
that
would not
answer.
go there for fun.
Yeah, well, you'd
But-
be surprised. I'm sure.
Well, a few other people did. Come
yeah,
there for
I would
fun.
be surprised, I guess.
Yeah.
You know more than I do.
I'm
me,
ready- I'm ready
me and
for the
Justin
story.
came in there with an agenda,
I love it.
and I think also Aurelie.
I was actually gonna say,
Yeah.
she was the DACA recipient, right?
Yeah,
She also had an agenda. I really
Yeah.
appreciated that.
I'm so happy for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she grew so much. But me and Justin were the only people that came in there with like an activist background.
Yeah.
Also, you know, mine is not formal. I just became one on accident. If you even consider that, people just started telling me I'm one. So I was like, cool, yeah. But Justin went to college and then's like,
For it,
he's like
yeah.
studying still, you know, and so yeah, he's like super intelligent.
Okay, speaking of which, let's just touch on this really quickly because the first episode, again, I've seen
Yeah.
all the other episodes like so far, but I was consistent for the first like 3. The first episode, I love the fact that he was an activist, but then he immediately, when he found out that
I
Dondre
know.
was
yes.
right,
Yeah.
he said, "Oh, I don't, if he's gay, I don't agree with that lifestyle. As long as he doesn't hit on me, that's cool. We're cool."
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
well, we
dude,
didn't hear that till
Ye-
we watched it.
that must have.
Oh.
We don't. Nobody knows that we don't know anything how it's
What other people
edited or
said, yeah.
shit till everyone else finds out.
So when that happened, also don't feel inclined to say anything that NDA would like. I don't.
Oh
wanna get
yeah,
in
no,
trouble
I
on it.
won't
Okay,
because
great.
I ain't got money. So
Okay, great.
yeah.
Great. That being said, what is out right now? Yeah, I was like, dude, how can you be a hardcore black activist and not understand the intersectional experience?
Well, no, I mean
How-
that arguably that fits the mold.
I think so.
Fair.
Yeah.
A lot of people on the internet. Well, okay, when I first met him, I was like, he's like Hotepi. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Oh,
Yep.
girl, same. I copied
Yeah.
that shit so quick.
But to be honest, spending time around him,
Yeah.
like in these moments of like just living with him, like 24/7. Yeah, there are like some things that are reminiscent of that, I would say, but also there's like more layers to people
course.
than like you see, and that is given to you. So I was annoyed when he said that about Dondre. I was like, wow, you're annoying. That's why he always closed the door when he was in the bathroom. Because me and Dondre were like walking around in our towels, like naked. Like, dudes peeing in front of each other. I thought, well, yeah, Justin does
Clearly
it.
it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that,
Okay.
you know? And, like, also, like, people thought that I was going to be, like, angry at Justin because I'm, like, they thought I was, like, going to be an angry feminist and stuff. But they don't I'm never going to put down a black person, especially on national television. That's not my place. Like, I'm not here to check anybody. Like, you know, no.
Other than Tova.
Tova, yeah, well.
Yo, she honestly kind of person. I don't know her. You know her.
Yeah.
This is my opinion.
Yeah, say your opinion.
She is she's a basic white girl that just got to experience, which one, I love that she does social work. I fucking celebrate that, but I mean, your face is saying otherwise, but I'm just saying I don't know her life.
Yeah.
I like enough that she does social work. Yes, her experience though may not be the best experience for social work.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you're giving that face.
Yeah.
But the fact that her heart may be in the right place, but she needs to be open to experience other perspectives.
I
And that's your
agree.
problem. Do you guys bump heads a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I told her from when I first met her that I didn't necessarily like her.
You told him.
Well, not like in the first second, but
To her
you
face.
look, you can read my face. I tried to give everyone a chance, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like,
Not
actually,
a mean person or anything.
yeah, like Tova's super intelligent. She's like has a great like funny personality, but I mean, you know, like privilege is privilege, and
Yeah.
It would irk the fuck out of me to be in that house.
Yeah, it was not easy, you know.
How did you handle just handle the different drama, the different personalities? How did you save yourself?
Shit. How did I? I mean,
yeah. Yeah, give a break. Give a second to like, please help yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, at first I was like, okay, like me and especially Justin, he's a Scorpio. Like we're like, okay, we gotta hold it together. We gotta we gotta represent properly. Like we can't.
I like that though. You guys were talking about that, and then you were like, look, despite his, it's understandable that, especially in the Black community, queerness and gayness, it's complicated. It's multi-layered. So, though I wish he didn't say that on public television, hopefully he gets what he needs so he can really digest and learn from the experience. But it's great that you were able to have someone with a similar activist mindset, or at least heart, to be able to, handle a situation like Tova and the other dude that I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Clint.
Totally.
I'm sorry. I
don't know. No, I don't know what we were just talking about.
I wanted to give you a second to like sip the drink,
but
then
how did I handle it?
Yes.
I honestly just tried to like handle that shit in the moment, not let it linger. You know what I mean? Because I was like, we're living together, so like everything that you saw when I'd be like, what, like Tova, what are you saying, or Clint, what are you saying, or whatever, I was like, now we have to say it now, like. In the first weeks, like I really felt the closest to Justin because we were plopped into this house where like there was so much privilege, and like it would like I've never been around people like that in my life. I honestly like consciously evade those, like get away from those fucking spaces, and so I'm not around people like that. So I was like, I couldn't believe that was real.
And that's a lesson for you too.
Yeah.
That there are people you were forced in a situation like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I come from that background of like, yes, privilege, especially white privilege, exists. Growing up in South Orange, New Jersey, there was, there was wealth there, but there was also, went to public school, same experience like that. People that came from money, but then also people that didn't, and people interacting the best that they could.
Yeah.
But there was also like this subtle fake liberalism that it wasn't real. Like, leveling still happened. Black kids were always in the lower level, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
That being said, it forced myself to acknowledge or how to interact with extreme privilege. And when I say extreme, I'm saying more like the top of the crop white privilege
yeah.
experience. So I love that you challenged it. Do you have any specific questions, by the way?
I mean, we can keep
the flow going.
Keep going.
I mean, so what? I also read in an interview, which congratulations, you've been getting a lot of play. Specifically, you.
Yeah, because I went viral on Black Twitter. That's honestly why.
I mean, what was honest about it is that you were being honest and you were challenging privilege.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who the face was. You were challenging the concept of privilege and the people that hold it. And you deserve that recognition. And biggest moment for me was the fact that you fucking got on the read. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. People were sending me that. And I was...
Which episode? Damn.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Kid Fury gave a shout out. I kind of wish that he did the research to get your name at least. Because you definitely deserve that recognition. Because you publicly challenge something that is a very common experience that, needs to be heard. But he shouted her out for doing the right thing and challenging. And, I think Justin got some, I don't remember. I don't know if it's my own personal opinions, but I think Justin got flack for what he said.
A little bit.
I don't remember.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, you got the recognition you deserve, and it's been looking very good for you.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm so surprised. I thought that I was going to be the least interesting, in the back of the show. I was like, why am I here? What? Because I was not, in the midst of, this intense drama or fighting. I didn't care enough about people's shit to do that. They're fucking... I was bored. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just being a weird fucking weird lady. I was like making smoothies and like burping and farting and like taking baths and like skinny dipping in the pool and like doing my weird tarot
You're
cards.
just in your space.
Yeah, and everyone else was like, oh, I gotta, I was like, no. But anyways.
Fuck. Sorry, I was prepped with a question, but
Yeah.
the way the alcohol works.
I
it
know,
really just
same. Well, no, but I do want to say, like,
Please.
you know, I did feel weird that I think of course, I do deserve recognition for what I did.
You do.
But I
Absolutely.
think Justin also, because I swear to God, he could have reacted very differently to many moments in that house.
Yes.
And
I will give him that for
he
sure.
is incredible at holding his composure and like speaking so intelligently and like non-biasedly in those moments, you know?
I do not take that away from him.
Yeah.
I'm so look, that one experience was one experience, and again, it's more layered than that.
Right.
But how he handled himself, at least watching as a viewer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you couldn't. I am so sparked by my emotion, and I am triggered by it, and I will just like act on emotion. He was so reserved, and it was like textbook information in the best way you can explain something to someone that was because you're basically twisting someone's belief.
Yeah.
Like you're twisting someone's experience. And he did it in the most composed way.
Yeah.
And it's so impressive. Which leads me to the question that I remember that I really wanted to touch on. So specific real world has always been a space based off of, like, I'm sure you've watched it growing up.
Yeah.
Did you watch Real World?
Yeah.
It always had one theme of some way that was a social justice theme, like in the early 90s,
AIDS.
late, yeah. That was literally like the only theme that was actually the highlight. You're so fucking right.
Yeah.
You just took the words. Literally just took the words. It seemed like this was charged with the current political and social
Yeah.
standing right now that's happening.
Yeah.
It was like every person was an element that's happening, unfolding in this country.
Yeah, I believe that. Well,
How did you feel about that?
one thing I felt, I was really confused. I have a lot of really cool white friends. You know what I mean?
Same.
And so I was like, wow, like, these are not exactly like liberal white people or whatever, you know, like they're pretty conservative. And so that was like a very interesting, like, to have the two extremes, you know. And I sincerely think like we all came into the house like on defense because, again, we are not familiar with being in one another's circles.
Yeah.
So we were immediately like, honestly, I was like, dang, like, they're gonna reject me, so I gotta be on defense because they're already not fucking with me. Like, they're already gonna disagree with my queerness, my family being like Muslim, all this like weird shit, you know. So everyone came in there scared to be rejected. That was basically the vibe.
Wow.
Like, I'm like,
I can sense
I
that, though.
analyze people, and like, again, I got common sense. So I went to therapy, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I could see that in their energy and mine too. And it took a while for us to recognize that, because at first we were just all angry at each other. But then, like, right, anger comes from fear. So yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
Having left now, would you say that each person came out of it better? Do you think everyone actually learned from being in the house and living with
question.
different
a little
people?
bit. Not, I mean, I think there was a big reality check for all of us.
Yeah.
Some of us learned a lot. Like, Dondre learned a lot. Aurelie
Yeah.
learned a lot. I believe that Megan actually learned a lot.
Honestly,
seemed like-
my
yeah.
heart goes to Megan.
Yeah,
For real. She seemed like she was very open.
she was, and that's, you know, like, I was really shocked by it. Especially her coming from like the South, like the community she's in is like very Christian, very Republican. Like, you know, I can only imagine what it's like where she's from. And like, for her to actually just be like, yeah, I don't understand, and you're gonna have to explain to me, instead of being like, I'm not, and
Which
like
we
getting
can
mad.
Recall who's
Yeah.
the difference.
So I was like, wow, like, this is, I guess, like, that was super important. You know, that was a super important moment for both of us. For me to see that she would be able to have an open heart to us,
Love
and
it.
for her to see that we're not angry. We just want her to have an open heart, you know?
And a lot of it, it's like when she would get upset when Tandre challenged her the Bible, you know? It wasn't like, even if she vocalized, like, it feels like I don't even think she said, but I get the sense like, okay, I'm being attacked or something like that. I don't, you know, I feel like she sensed, I'm just more upset that it's taking me this long to acknowledge a different perspective.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to switch up. I think it was just an internal frustration of like, this is just a lot to switch up right now.
Yeah.
But it was never an attack on the person that was bringing up the subject.
Exactly. She was like super understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was open.
I love it.
Yeah.
I want her. I mean, and also props to you for just being someone.
Patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very patient.
Of course.
With all of it.
Because like you can tell when a person what their intention is. Okay. So it's like her intention was not negative. She just like she is really like has a big heart.
Yeah.
You know, and like of course like what her interests are and what she's involved in is very different than anything I would be in. But also there's a lot of things that we share as women and as people. So
Do you still keep in touch with the cast?
yeah, I talk to Dondre every day almost.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I talk to Aurelie almost every day, and I talk to Justin all the time. We gossip a lot.
I love it.
We gossip a lot.
What have been the rewards of, or I say, look, you didn't choose to be in this space. You chose eventually, but it's not like you sought out this experience, right?
Yeah.
What are the rewards that you were able to benefit from?
Honestly, for me, it made me feel better about myself.
Love that.
Which is like weird, right? I was
No,
like,
I get
wait,
it.
I am a good person.
Yeah. You're in comparison to other situations. They're like, yeah, bitch, you were good.
Exactly.
You're the fucking mom of the house.
Yeah. And I really thought I was like in there like just being an idiot.
No.
And I was like, oh my God, I need to give myself more credit.
Yes.
So that's been like super, also like crazy out of nowhere. Like I just have a lot of young kids followed me. Like
Really?
in the past week, I've gotten like 10,000 plus followers.
Congratulations. Saw
Thank
that
you.
celebration.
I am really happy about that. But almost all of them are like teenagers. And that is a huge, like, one, I've always said, like, with my art, I want to work with young people. You know what I mean? But two, I'm like, you know, young people are not easy to please. Like, they're super picky. And the fact that they, like, cared about what I have to say or whatever really made me feel, maybe it's an ego thing, I don't know, but it made me feel good.
Dude,
it made me
Ego's good. A little bit ego's good.
Yeah.
One,
fine.
ego's necessary.
Okay, yeah.
Especially as an artist, you have to acknowledge ego, helps drive your work.
Yeah.
But you also have a balance of spirituality, and you also are saying important things, and it's affecting. I think it's what people need to hear. You gotta give yourself more credit because you're now in this. You now have this platform that you can speak to real issues that you've experienced, that you know people who have experienced, that you can use to, you know, help make the world a little bit better.
I hope so.
Yeah, you can dive into what you're already doing, but at a
Yeah.
larger scale.
Exactly.
And don't forget, you deserve everything you fucking
No,
got.
Alright, you say it. Say it. I deserve it.
Say it
deserve
right
it.
now.
I deserve it. No, really, no, it's true.
It
It's like,
is.
you know, like women, we don't give ourselves enough credit
Yeah.
or whatever. We're like, we gotta do this, but no, like, it's true. Like, I worked really hard to where I got today, and like, I also like, what the fuck? I got here by being myself. That's
Yes.
weird.
But
Yeah.
that's the
crazy.
thing. You are the, I think that's why there's so much, especially, I'm such a fangirl. I'm so embarrassed. From the jump, from Seattle. No, but for real, you have been so authentic and just a very genuine person. And just recognize that you doing that is inspiring the next generation. Because you
Yeah.
said teenagers are following you. So the more you emphasize, like, dude, I'm just being myself, it's allowing people just to be themselves. And if their selves are assholes, well, then they just got to get a reality check. And that will come
Right.
from... that
Totally.
will come.
That'll come, yeah.
From their version of me.
And yet you inspired them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really have any additional questions. Do you? I mean, what's next?
What's next? Oh, well,
Okay, it seems like okay, cool. That was a
Well,
good question. That
no,
was a
for
good
the month of
question.
August, I'm going to Europe, and so I'm doing like a artist residency, but like sabbatical. Type of
Holy
thing.
fuck! Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So basically, I'm just going there. I'm gonna design my tarot cards. I'm gonna like get away from the internet a little bit, and then come back and pop off.
Damn.
That's my plan. Yeah.
Congratulations. That is so. Where are you going? Like, do you know specifically what areas yet? Or
Berlin.
oh, great.
and
That's cosmopolitan.
yeah, Berlin and Paris. But today I was talking to my partner, and they were like, "Oh, well, let's just go like find like a weird house on the coast of Spain, like one of those like
Mm.
Oh
artist
my
like
god.
Yeah.
places where you like farm and like live there." And,
Oh
like,
yes.
yeah. I was like, cool. So we'll see.
Dude.
Yeah. Just gonna go with the flow.
Well,
Are you going to
oh.
be on social media while you're doing this?
I'm
or are
gonna
you
be on social media
cutting
because
off?
I can't. I'm not gonna lose my followers. I'm like, I got that engagement up, and like, unfortunately, to maintain it is just
you
work.
had to be
It's
engaged.
work.
It
Yeah.
is.
Like, do you know that after you post, you probably know, after you post a photo, like you have to keep your photo getting bumps. You have to respond to every comment for like an hour. It's
I get like 2 comments, so I don't know that.
but if you if you respond, you probably
you
will
get
more.
like just bump it up.
Yeah, and it's so
Damn.
exhausting though. I really have to say,
Are you
like,
gonna get a assistant? An assistant?
no, I am not gonna exploit anybody.
I mean, you can pay them. It's
Well, what money?
If you bring your partner into the mix, be like,
Right.
we can tag team.
Oh my god, my partner hates social media. He hates real world. He hates it all. He's like he can't. Don't. And just kidding. I can't.
Yeah.
Beep, and I will cut that out.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
even worry. We are not trying to exploit or ruin anyone's lives here at Red Dot.
Nope.
So, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you for
Yes, thank
having
you.
me.
I would love to,
Thank
we would love
you.
to have you again if you just want to just chill when you're back from Europe.
Yes.
I slurred
Yeah,
the
if you
shit
wanna-
out of that.
Oh, I'm gonna try it again.
Okay,
I'm trying it again.
Whiskey?
The fake
No,
sponsor
yeah.
here today is Maker's Mark. We'll say March
Ooh.
because it's not a real sponsor.
Maker's March, yeah.
And sorry, I'm getting blown up right now because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
about to have a call.
Oh shit.
So,
Yeah.
where can people find you? Let's build that follower up. 5 more people.
All right.
Again,
Get
we
on
really
me.
appreciate you being on here. Like, really appreciate it. Make sure you put this shit on your Instagram.
Oh, 100%.
Great.
I'm gonna blast it.
Great.
Find me on Instagram, Yassa. That's YASSA.
So fun.
And then on there, I have a link to my big cartel. Go
Yes.
buy some shit.
But I was literally about to say,
Yeah.
her shit is so good. Her shit has meaning. Her shit is not shit. It's absolutely spectacular.
Thank you.
Buy it. Get a shirt. Get a mug. Get
something.
something. It's really
Yeah.
good.
There we go.
And dude, thank you so much for the work you're doing.
Thank you for the work you two are doing.
I will accept
really
that.
am. Yeah, no, for real. And I really am gonna try to come check out that space
Yeah.
before I go
Anytime.
Yeah.
When are you leaving again?
on the 30th.
Of August or July?
July.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it work. I celebrate you. I'm just like I'm like thinking about my schedule just then. I just spiraled. And I was just like, oh god, fuck. Okay, we gotta figure it out. Okay, bye.
Cool. Love you. Bye.
Bye.